Hello and welcome. It's Thursday night NFL, and that can only mean one thing. The man with the plan, the man who has had two winners in the last two Thursday night games. It's only been two so far. The Professor, Brad Allen.
Hello, Aidan, Sully O'Sullivan. How you doing?
I'm good. But let's be honest about it. The Titans and the Jags. How excited are you? Because I kind of have it on a 1 to 10 scale, or maybe a 3.5. But then I saw one or two value bets here, and I'm thinking I might bring it up to a 6.
You're having a laugh, pal. I mean, this is about as bad as it gets, isn't it?
But, why does it feel like that this primetime game is on every year for the last 10 years? Because it may actually be.
I'll tell you for why. I think it's because they need to put all of the teams on primetime at one point. So they just think, right, let's get these idiots together. We don't want them any other points.
Get them out of the way.
Get out of the way.
I hear you. Okay, all right, okay. Look, let's try to find some bets anyway. We will get excited. We're meant to promote these things. I'm meant to sell it, but this may be a small but it's a tough one. But at least in the betting markets, it's a close contest. So money line at the moment, you can back the Titans favorite here at 1.86. The Jags 2.16. The point spread, the Jags are getting a 1.5 start at 1.99, 1.98. So the other side, my God, has a tight margin. 39 is the total of 1.97. Brad, let's talk about his total first of all. It opened early doors 48.5, dived to 40.5 within a couple of hours. Now at 39 flat. I don't think that weather is coming that we thought it might, though, Brad, by the looks of things.
Yeah, it looks like it's calmed down. There was obviously reports yesterday, I think it was going to be 20 miles an hour on average and gusts of 30. But checking this morning, it looks about 13 miles an hour on average, which I think there's probably still a slight impact on passing, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the total tick back up to 39.5, 40.
Because we have said before, Brad, when we see totals in the 30s, it's almost like an automatic play. But there's a big but here, though. What do you think of there's a lot of buts. I mean, like, you look at Gardner Minshew, he has impressed me, but it's still a pretty inept offense. Tennessee Titans the exact same. I mean, that Titans win over the Browns, I think it just got a lot of people carried away, Brad, about Tennessee.
Yeah, I think they are probably who we thought they were, as the saying goes. They are an 8-win team who, if things break right, they can probably get to 9-10 wins and sneak in a wild card. They could also slip to 7-9. They're pretty much average across the board. Yeah, that's all they are. They probably beat the bad teams and lose to the good teams. And it would appear to me that the Jags are a bad team. Obviously, they're at home. And it's
so you're not buying into the Gardner Minshew effect there?
I'm not buying into the Gardner Minshew effect. I mean, his stats so far are pretty good, but I think they're probably driven a little bit by facing two bad defenses, and then they're puffed up by the this Chiefs game where they obviously didn't prepare for him and were sitting in a prevent defense for a lot of the time. I mean, if you look at last week against a pretty poor Houston pass defense, who in a dome, he should be able to do something. He went for 6.5 yards per attempt, 213 yards, 4 sacks, 37% success rate, negative EPA. So poor across the board. And I think basically the more film you get on him, the more he's going to show that he's a 6th-round rookie, if you ask me.
Yeah, you look at this total, Brad, and I'm looking at 39, and I just can't get away from the fact that this game strikes me as a 17-13, 17-10 kind of game. But I mean, look, first half, you're looking at 20 at 1.83. It's kind of a miserable enough number, Brad. I mean, you could get stuck there on the 21, and it could still go under in the full game. Obviously, I can't predict an over here. So if we were going back in the unders, would you be taking the first half or full game?
Probably the first half. If you get that 20, as you say. I have no idea where the points are coming from, but it's the kind of one where, I don't know, I think the number's probably fair. And I'll be staying away from side and total at the prices currently.
Okay, you're staying away from those, but let's have a look at the player props. And there's one in particular we were chatting about earlier that you're getting excited about, and it's Gardner Minshew related. Now, his passing yards are 220.5, but you're not looking at that. You are looking at his rushing yards.
Yes, well, he went last week. He went six rushes for 56. yards. And you could see, I watched that game back, and especially late in the game where it was tight and he needed to move the ball, and as we kind of touched on, he couldn't really move it through the air that well. He was quite happy to just pull it down and take off. And I see no reason why I wouldn't continue to do that again. But I think that's going to be probably their best method of moving the ball here. So, yeah, I would probably put it up at 30 odd. So I think over 22 and a half, I think is a pretty good value.
Oh, where are you coming with that, mate? That's 14.5.
14. Yeah,
14.
I'm getting confused, but yeah, no, 14.5 is mental.
Clearly, you're back at 22 and a half as well. Like,
yeah, okay. I would back over 22 and a half. So yeah.
All right, so that's currently at 1.9. But let's be honest about it. When this recording goes out, it probably won't be because the professor will get involved. But there still should be some value there. But at the end of the day, we'll probably back it down to 1.7. Anyway, Brad, no issue.
I would.
Look at the other quarterback, Mariota, 20.5 rushing yards. You're going the other way. You're thinking he won't get it.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get that. So he's been limited this week in practice. So if we just look over the long-term sample, he's averaging 26 rushing yards a game over his last 16. But he's missed time this week with a leg injury, a quad injury specifically. And I think, as I said, I do see the Titans as probably pulling this game out late, and I don't really see why he would feel the need to take off, especially if he's got this knee injury on a short week. So I think he'd probably be quite tentative and look to pass, and they're going to look to feed Derrick Henry a lot. So yeah, I think under is the look there.
We'll just move on to Henry. So 74.5 is his rushing yards total. Over or under for you?
Yeah, slight over. I made it 80-ish.
Okay.
I do think Henry is the type. I mean, I think it was this game a couple of years ago where he went for about 250 on 18 carries. So I would project a similar number of carries to that. And it's not been a good Jags defense.
And Jags rushing defense is poor, and the Titans are actually, what are they? They're 26th against the run. Obviously, it's only through 2 games, 134 yards on average. But This seems like a game that both teams are going to want to establish the run, keep that clock ticking.
Yeah, especially if there's a bit of wind about, and they're two big backs. And as I say, on the short week, those big backs can grind you down, and I think Henry could be he could get loose in the second half. One big run, which he's kind of famous for, he breaks off his 75-yarders. I think you'll get over the 74.5, but a small play from me because as I say, I had him projected for just a little bit higher than that.
2 Titans receivers you want to attack on the unders. Adam Humphries, 22.5, and Corey Davis, 41.5. What's the story here?
Yeah, I'm quite a big fan of these two. So Humphries this season, obviously, he was a free agent addition. They gave him 20-30 million. I can't remember exactly. But he's been targeted.
It's a lot for a slot receiver, isn't it?
It's a lot for a slot receiver, and one that they have not used almost at all so far this season. 3 of 4 targets he's caught. So 4 targets is absolutely nothing. He's caught 3 of them for 4 yards this season, the entire season. So to have the line at 22.5 yards is surprising to me. I would have made it 15 odd, and that might be generous.
And the thing about it is, Brad, it's not necessarily you saying that he's a poor player. It's just that if players aren't getting targets, if the quarterback's not going to them, then you've got to be backing unders.
Yeah, I mean, in fantasy, in player production, usage trumps efficiency generally. If you can find someone who's just getting targeted a lot, getting the ball a lot, generally there is kind of an average efficiency they will regress to unless they're very, very special. And Humphries just isn't getting usage. 4 targets is nothing. So that was quite a confident under, especially in this offense, which is 31st in pass attempts through 2 games. They want to run the ball. They don't want to spread it out. Mariota's, his passing yardage is about 200 here. And Humphries is a long way down the chain currently. So, yeah, I'm a fan of that one.
Yeah, and that offense always tends to play with kind of tight end heavy sets. So you're obviously not going to bring in your 3rd or 4th receiver. What's the story with Corey Davis? 41.5. That's obviously, he does get a few more targets probably. Again, he seems like kind of a boomer bust guy. You can kind of get the big ones or you can get nothing at all.
Yes. So again, not getting loads of targets, but the key is the matchup here is he's likely to be targeted by Jalen Ramsey, who been in the news.
He's not going to be in good form.
Well,
at all.
I mean, he was in good form last week. He was facing up against DeAndre Hopkins, Ramsey, and held
Yeah.
him to 5 catches.
Well, sorry, what I meant in good form is, and he's going to be pretty pissed off. He's always in good. He's a great player.
Oh yeah, he's a hell of a player.
Yeah.
He's probably top second best corner in the NFL after Gilmore. So yeah, as I say, he held Hopkins to 40 yards, and he's likely to be on Davis here. So Davis has played 4 times against the Jags, often faced Ramsey, and his total yardage is 21, 34, 0, and 4. So he would have gone under. So his best there is 34, obviously still an under, and he's gone 0 and 4 the last 2 attempts. So yeah, I'm quite a big fan of that under as well.
All right, I'm going to kind of gate crash your part here, Brad. I'm going to give you one that I really like. DJ Chalk at 45.5, go over at 1.9. He is fast becoming Gardner Minshew's favorite target. D.D. Westbrook is not getting a look in. He's had 201 yards over the last 2 games, 13 targets. So he's averaging 6.5 targets, and he's had 2 touchdowns. I like that, and I think that's a bit low at 46. He could literally get that with maybe 2 because he does seem to offer that bit of a deep threat. Right, Brad, for Thursday Night Football, let's do best bets. Sides, you're not liking anything on the sides?
I am not. No, best bet, I would go Corey Davis under 40.5.
What about Gardner Minshew?
There's not enough liquidity there for us all to pile in, but there's plenty of Corey Davis around.
All right, okay, I love that angle. I like the DJ Chalk angle over 45.5, and give me under 39. Let's play the under here, Brad. Let's wake up tomorrow morning and have a look at the YouTube highlights, and hopefully it'll save about 7.5 minutes. What are we going to put that line at, those YouTube highlights?
Well, you said the other day the Packers Bears, which was 10-3, and that was 8.5 minutes.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think maybe 8 minutes 20. I set the over under.
Yeah, clearly NFL films have upped their games that they can actually condense highlights when there's actually nothing going on, and just find highlights and just kind of tease us when we wake up in the morning. We still have the phones on flight mode and we don't want to check scores.
Well, there's going to be about 100 yards of Gardner Minshew rushing to show us. So that
fantastic. Love it. Right, that's it from us. Don't forget, you can check out the main NFL podcast. We had a lot of fun in that. A lot of solid enough bets, NFL Week 3 with myself, Brad, Drew, and Adam. That's available to download on your preferred podcast app, or you can find it on video format if you want to see us in our full glory on our YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter channels. Best of luck with the bets tonight. Good luck to anyone who's staying up, Brad. I think those people deserve a lot of props.
Those people deserve probably sort of a mental health check, I would imagine.
I don't agree.
Good luck to you. Yeah. Good luck to you.
You guys, if you're staying up, you're the real heroes. Me and Brad, and we're just pretending. Good luck.
Yeah.